Hi, my name is Chris Sunderland. I've been involved in environmental things in my home city of Bristol, UK for the last 15 years or so. And I, like many of those around me, are now quite convinced that we are failing to respond to the environmental crisis. We've written our learned reports about the science. We've had our grandstanding international conferences. And we know that what's being promised is very likely to be too little, too late. We've campaigned tirelessly. The transition movement, for example, spread internationally. Greta Thunberg's school strikes went across Europe. We've had divestment movements from fossil fuels. And we've had the almost notorious now Extinction Rebellion encouraging grassroots protest. And yet, despite it all, carbon dioxide levels continue to increase, ancient forests are cut down, and an extraordinary number of species are going extinct, all symptoms of a failure to respond to the environmental crisis. And I believe it is time now to think more deeply, to stop and examine our assumptions about the world. We tend to think of climate change as a technical problem. But I believe it won't be solved simply by solar panels and electric cars and that sort of thing, because it's actually deeper than that. The same with the loss of biodiversity. Just protecting this species or that species, that won't solve it, because I believe the problem lies in our Western culture, and we need to face up to that. We have pundits around the world telling us that there is just a small window of opportunity still for us to change in, and their appeals grow ever more desperate and more difficult to believe as days go on. No, it's time to rethink. It's not time to do more of the same. We're not like that TV series Blackadder, set in the First World War, and you remember the hapless Colonel Melchett who ordered his men over the top in one last big push with tragic results. We're not like that. We don't need more of the same. We don't need one last big push. We need to stop and rethink what we are doing. I believe if we will do that, if we will look at Western culture and and examine the unconscious assumptions that we all make about life, we will discover that actually Western culture is missing something that's hardly ever spoken of in the news, not considered by decision makers or by the rest of us in our worries about these things. And if we did, we could reconfigure the whole problem. So that's what I hope we can do, or begin to do, in this short series of videos, which will be asking the big questions beneath the surface of the environmental crisis about Western culture and our failure to respond. I hope that's interesting. I invite you to subscribe to this channel, and if you'd like to go into it in more detail, I've written an ebook that's available called Imagination is the Key to Unlock the Environmental Crisis. See you soon.